I haven't actually done a stream with this yet because I'm missing the other half of it. And unfortunately, these are not cheap products as I've come to discover. I've looked them up online, and I think to find it complete in its case, complete in the box, it's even worse. But like complete in the case, I think these are still pretty expensive. I need to check again. What I have here is a Pokemon Project Studio print shop thing, red version. And it says on the cover, 81 of the 151 Pokemon. Add the blue version to make them all. So, it's a print shop thing with the availability of the actual Game Boy games, which I fucking hate. But I bought the red version one, or I picked this up from somewhere, because I found the copy of it, and I knew at some point I would find the blue one. Except I looked on eBay, and it's like, it cost a little bit. It costs like at least over $12, and I'm like, I don't know if I can afford that. So I haven't really played with this any. I also don't have like an old ass printer that I can just plug in. I don't think like a virtual machine can talk to my printer. So if I were to print anything, I would have to use the save to PDF function in the virtual machine, copy the PDF outside of the virtual machine onto my streaming computer, put that onto a flash drive, connect it to my main computer, and then print it out on the printer. There. That's a lot of steps to print out some fucking Pokemon. But basically, it's like a thing that you just use to print out little factoid cards and stuff about Pokemon. It's kind of like... Do I have the... Yeah, they advertise the blue version on the inside for some stupid reason. Here's what you're missing. Hopefully you don't like Vulpix. I think that was blue specific back then. But, so we got this, and this was reminding me of the fact that, like, I came across some things that somebody had printed out with this, long before I knew what this was. And when I lived in San Antonio several years ago, I did volunteer work off and on, just because, you guys, and I did Extra Life. I've done work with, like, First Robotics, and I've also done a little bit of, like, just work in various places. And one of the things that I worked at was the San Antonio Playhouse, and they needed help tearing down an existing set to get ready to build the set. I think they were going to do a Wizard of Oz play. So I was one of the tech crew people there, just to help them take down what was there and then kind of get the materials ready for the next step. One of the things they were going to do for Wizard of Oz, you have to do Munchkin Land. And to make the roofs, like when they do plays, like they build the front facade of a house and the front little roof, the little awning on top. They don't build the whole house. They build just the front, and that's used as a set piece. But for the roof, they were going to put shingles. And when I asked how they were going to get that effect, they pointed to a box of trading cards just hanging out. And I looked through it's the Tupperware thing. I could see through it. I'm like, there's fucking Pokemon cards in there. And they were like, oh yeah, those were donated by somebody. And I'm like, do you mind if I look at those before I leave? And they said, fuck it, I don't care. So I start looking through these Pokemon cards, and there's a few things that are printed out and laminated from this thing. I didn't know what they were. I took those cards because I'm like, the hell is this? And then I later found out I saw those exact same things on the software, so I'm like, oh, well, that answers that question. But more importantly, they had multiple rare cards just in there. These are all like base set original series cards. They didn't even have base set 2. It was base, jungle, and fossil, like the original, the OG sets. And it clearly belonged to a collector at one point, somebody who actually gave a shit about the card game, because there was like 2 fucking Charizards in there, a complete set of promo cards from the first movie, a complete set of promo cards from the second movie, several shadowless cards, meaning that they had been buying these cards a long time ago. There was a Blastoise card in there. There was a Zapdos card in there. Like, there were a lot of holographic cards. And when I saw the Charizard, I'm like, you can't put a staple through this and make a shingle out of it. This is a $15 shingle. You can't do that. So I told him, I'm like, can I just take some of these home with me, for my own collection? And they, again, the person in charge was like, yeah, just don't take all of them because we need to do that. And I'm like, you probably have enough energy cards to make shingles with. One of the things they had in there, and this is going to sound really, really, really autistic of me, but I recognized it immediately, is they had some Meowth cards from the Jungle set. You might be saying, well, Draco, that card's a common card. It's fucking worthless. It's stupid. It's actually not worth anything. It only has the Payday move for 2 energy, and it does 10 damage, and if you get heads, you can draw a card. It's not a very good move. And I'd say, you're right. It's not a very good move. The card itself is worthless. But this was a gold-bordered Meowth card, whereas the usual border is just yellow, like all the other cards, even the holographic cards. This card was not holographic. It was not stamped in any other way to denote that it was a special card, other than the fact that it had a gold-colored, it wasn't even shiny gold, it was like a kind of like a tan, like a brown, like a gold border. And the reason why that card is important is because that is actually a promotional card, and it was only available if you ate a whole bunch of fruit roll-ups and sent in the UPCs to Kraft or whoever the fuck manufactures fruit roll-ups, and they would send you this promotional card in return. There were 2 of them in the fucking shingle box in the collection. I own none of those cards, but I have 2 of them now because you bet your ass I took those fucking cards. I had never seen one of those in the wild before, as I just go around just, you know, checking out cards. If I see cards for sale, I'll go look at them. I have never seen those just in the wild because most people do not know that those are promotional cards. They just think they're Meowth cards, so they just get thrown in with the rest of the commons because it even still has the circle on the bottom to denote that it's a common card. So it's fucking insane. And I didn't have to pay for either of them. I just said, can I have this? And they said, okay, who cares? I walked out of that. I only took the rares, and I took rares, promotionals, and, like, that's it. I walked out with the stack of cards that was, like, 2 inches thick. I'm not even kidding. That they were just going to staple onto a piece of fucking dirty plywood to make shingle effect for a goddamn Wizard of Oz play. And that horrifies me because I know so many of these valuable cards have been lost for the exact or similar reasons. And I don't know, like, that was one of my, I was like, I think about that, that's when I looked at this, I'm like, okay, well, I found cards from this, I didn't know what they were, and that's an interesting story. I don't know when I'd be able to tell that normally on the air, but, yeah, I still have those cards somewhere. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of my Pokemon collection in Harvey, because fuck me, and I haven't replaced a lot of them. I've joked about it on this stream before, like when FPS Reflex was here. I think there was one time I was joking. I was like, I had a shadowless misprint Pikachu card with the red cheeks from the base set. And Reflex was like, okay, I'm like, you don't even know what that is, do you? And he was like, no. I said, exactly. That's a rare card. You know, I had the E3 foil stamped Pikachu card. I don't know how much, I don't want to look up how much that one costs. Because I would like to replace my collection someday, but I might have to do it like the old-fashioned way and just buy them from like Troll and Toad or eBay sellers or something like that. Because you can't exactly go see the first movie in theaters again and get all that, but oh well. I didn't mean to end that on like a bummer note, but that's not every story is upbeat, but I did get a bunch of free cards. I just need to consolidate my collection and see what I have and what I don't have. I don't know. But anyways, I'm not going to stream this until I get the blue version, and even then, when I do, these actually are not as interesting as I thought they were. It's really just like a shitty word processor. It's basically, it's like that old program, what was it called? LGR did a video about it, where he made like a banner, and it's got that the cool crab that's on the beach, and you can put your text on the picture of the cool crab or whatever it was. Whatever that software was, this is basically that, but with Pokemon, which is cool, but it'll eat the shit out of your printer ink. And back then, that was really expensive. But no, it wasn't Kid Pix or whatever. It might have been a Microsoft publisher. I don't know. But it's one of those things where you click and drag, and then you make a text box, and you can change the effect and make it Comic Sans and crap like that. It was something. It was something like that. But we might stream this eventually. This might be something delegated to a chill stream, really. Maybe. I don't know.